Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. This is the Porsche 987 Boxster project that I purchased a couple of years ago. I fully knew what I was getting into here, that the car was needing a lot of work, and yes, oh my, it was a lot of work and a lot of money to get this thing back up to scratch. The first thing I wanted to do was replace the aircon condensers on the driveway because there was no aircon in the car. Didn't really affect me much because it's convertible, so on a nice day when it's hot, roof down. So you can see here I was doing some temporary repairs on my drive, and the more and more I was looking, I was seeing more issues with the car, such as metal brake pipes corroding. There was a lot of rusty areas. You see the anti-roll bar links and the wishbone, etc. there, and it's just looking worse and worse. So the objective was to get it back on the road for a couple of months, and then November 2024 the MOT was due to go out, and I was going to put it off the road for 2025. So you can see here I've been replacing metal brake pipes with copper ones, and ended up eventually replacing every single brake pipe and flexi hose on the car, along with all the other stuff which you'll see in these later videos. So this is going to be the first of a couple of parts, and in this one we're going to cover all the temporary repairs on the driveway that I did to get it on the road, and then getting into more important things up in the workshop, such as air oil separator replacement, the secondary air pump control valve. I was getting a fault for that, so you'll see that in the next little video segment here. So there's the air oil separators getting taken out and replaced, and then secondary air valve was the next thing. And so you'll see me talking, so let's jump to me in the workshop where I'm replacing this thing and explaining the way of removing it simply. So to replace the secondary air valve in the 987, well, mine's a 3.2, the early Boxster S. So yeah, so there it is there. As you can see, that's a new one. The old one here, as you can see, the carbon build up and rust inside it. You can just make out that rust in the background there. That's why you get the engine management light faults. Things just corrode and get full of carbon, stop working, they get blocked. So to get them off, you need to take the throttle body off. So disconnect your throttle body either side of your inlet manifold. Disconnect it down there from the mass airflow sensor as well, the mass airflow meter. You are going to have to take off the right hand side inlet manifold, which is here. So you've got a bolt there, two bolts there, two bolts there, and a bolt there on it. So they're actually not bad to do. And pop your injector rail off the inlet manifold as well, and just push it back. So there's the injector rail, two bolts there and there. You can see I've put little actually fingers off my nitrile gloves over the ends of the injectors just to keep debris and crap. I have also taped up and stuffed some rag down each of the inlet ports for the valves as well to stop any of the debris, because this is a dirty area to work in. It's very it's full of bits of leaves. Yeah, it's just not great. It's not a nice area. You don't want any of that debris getting down into your inlet ports, that's for sure. So I'm going to give this a hoover out and clean the best I can prior to reassembly. But I wanted to touch on how to get this valve off in situ without having to take the stupid big bracket off and the pipe, the crossover pipe. Yeah, how to change that in situ, because the bolts come from the bottom up. And you can see one bolt there, just there where my torch is shining, and then the other one is actually invisible to this position. It's actually under this side of it. So there's two bolts, as you can see here. So the valve sits like that, and you have two bolts. So to actually get them off, believe it or not, it's actually quite easy, as long as you're willing to sacrifice a Torx bit and also buy yourself one of these little ratchets, these little hand ratchet things. Very, very good bit of kit. Works works exactly like any typical ratchet, and you can also screw with your thumb on the back of it. Really actually good bit of kit. Problem you've got is the height of these Torx bits. So this Torx bit I'm using comes in one of these little screwdriver Torx sets. I think it's a T30, I think, yeah, T30 by the looks of it. So what I've done with that is I've cut it in half with a grinder and just chopped half the body of it off so it sits in a lower profile. So it sits in a lower profile there, and you can literally, so you can get this set up to illuminate the area. Yeah, so you actually come in from under here and get on this bolt. You can feel this bolt, it's pretty prevalent where it is. You can feel it there, and just work your ratchet back and forward. And then for this one, that's the reason you have to shorten this, because there is a bit of the block of the body there. You come in from this side and get on here, and again you can just crack it off and work it. What I tend to do is put my left hand down there, just to keep it held on. Just use a couple of fingers to hold it on, and once you've got them cracked off, they're actually not on there very tight. Once you've got them cracked off, you can unscrew them with your fingers. I put this hand in from this angle, put the other hand down where the two ports are there, and just unscrew them with your fingers, and then drop them out onto your hand and then put it back in. Yeah, it's actually very simple. Not a bad job to do, to be honest, if you've just got patience. And then obviously new valves fitted, and I'll put this pipe back on in a minute, and that is that valve replaced. It's just I've never seen, there's not a video online explaining how to do this, and I think it's a very common fault from what I've been reading. Certainly the Porsche forums, and there's a lot of questions online about this engine management light fault coming on every 150 miles. Engine management comes on and tells you it's your secondary air valve, which is this thing here. So pump seems to be working, it's priming, etc. when you're in the startup sequence. This is seized and it's replaced. So I bought that off of eBay, 90 quid. It's a genuine Pierberg one. So it's not a genuine Porsche one, but if you look at your Porsche barcode part number there, when you buy this, there's a Pierberg sticker over it. If you peel the sticker off, the Porsche part number is underneath it with the right barcode. So they make them for Porsche. Don't spend money at Porsche, buy just a genuine Pierberg one. It's the same bloody thing. And you'll save yourself probably 100 quid or something like that. I think that was £96 or something for that Pierberg one. So it's a genuine manufacturer part. It's just not coming through the Porsche tax system. But yeah, so that's it. So like I say, I'm going to reassemble this. I'm just waiting on inlet manifold gaskets and a few new bolts turning up because some of them were quite corroded. The heads of them for the inlet manifold, I'm not going to put that, but not going to put these back in. They're a bit rusty. I would rather just replace them. So next time if I ever have to do anything like this, I'm not chasing rounded bolts. So yeah, so just a quick video on that. I wanted to show you that, guys. The only other thing to point out as well, while I'm in here, I've just replaced my air oil separator as well. Again, not really a bad job to do. You can do it in place, even with the inlet manifold in place as well. The old one's been in for a while, and yeah, it's watery, and you can probably see the water and yeah, moisture and oil. Yeah, so just not great. So yeah, that wasn't even changed anyway. Another maintenance task on the Boxster 987 S. I need to replace the handbrake spring, handbrake shoe spring. There was like a scuffing noise coming You can see where it's sort of worn the edge off that shoe slightly. I replaced these shoes a while ago. I'm saying a while ago, a few months ago I replaced the shoes. One of the springs was broken, so I made a spring to go in. It didn't really last. Started hearing a scuffing noise. I'll just get the car back on the road quickly. So got one of these off a Design 911. There's your part numbers, handbrake, shoe tension spring, it's called. And that's what it actually should look like. So it's like an offset with a little hook end on it for allow it to go in and locate in the position. So I'm going to fit that now. Fairly simple exercise to get the disc off. While the disc is on, line up your bolt hole with your adjuster and unscrew it. So I can't remember, I think it needs to rotate that way for tightening and that way for loosening on this side, I believe. Yeah, so yeah, because I was levering it down with my screwdriver. So you just line up the hole for the wheel nut, stick a screwdriver through, the hole and just flick it. You can see it with a torch when you actually get into position. You can see it with a torch through the hole. Obviously wheel off, easier option. Then you've got two screws for the disc, top and bottom there. So yeah, my one had two screws. Can be a bit tight, so advisable to use a impact screwdriver to crack them off if they're too tight on you. You need that. And then you have the two Allen key bolts, or Torx bolts I should say, for the caliper, holding the caliper on the hub. I've also undone the 10mm from there just to give it a little bit of flex so you're not bending the brake pipe. My brake pipes have been replaced before anyway, so they're pretty good. You don't want to be bending the brake pipes, and just push that out of the way, pull the disc off and gives you access to in here. So I'm going to give this a bit of a clean up, and then I'm going to stick the brake shoe retaining spring, tensioning spring in position for you. Thank you. So for installing these, what I do is I use a pair of long nose mole grips. Just bite in, shove them in a wee bit, clamp them, and then align the cutout of this, so I've got access to the hole. I'll show you how easy this is. I'll do this one-handed. You want to make sure you've got it lined up with your hole at the back so it's going in. Here's the hole. I said I'll do it one-handed, and that'll be my biggest mistake. And then push it in, turn it. So I've turned that counterclockwise, anti-clockwise to get it to latch into position. Give it a wee tug, it's nice and firm. Just release your ratchet on your hole grips, and voila, new tension spring fitted, all secure. So I'll give this a clean up now and get it reassembled. But yeah, I just wanted to do that because obviously a lot of people struggle with these springs and things. But yeah, if you use the tools that work, it makes it a bit easier for yourself. So yeah, just a bit of advice for you. Thank you. Bye bye. While I was doing this work, I got my wheels refurbished at the powder coaters. So a great job they did of them, and obviously it spurred me on to do more to the car. Dirty inner arches, so I've taken all the liners off. There's some rust appearing there, so I'm gonna needle gun, wire wheel, all of this. I need to also replace this shocker dust cover has perished, so that's going to get replaced. I've got the brakes off. Been painting the hubs, the discs, and get them back on. The discs are all masked up on the bench there, so I'll get the hub's cleaned up, got all the inside here all cleaned up, and I'll probably give it a spray, get it all freshened up. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so Boxster prep, so I'm going to take all the inner arches off, get all this cleaned up in here. I've already replaced the brake pipe, you've probably seen in an earlier video. It's also got really bad rust appearing on the arches. I've picked some of that, flaked some of that off, but yeah, bubbles appearing. So I'll leave these off for the body shop on the 19th. The boy's going to tackle all these rusty bits. Just neglect, to be honest. I mean, it was already like that when I bought it. I knew I was going to have to do this at some point, but my mate owns a body shop. I can do all the mechanical work myself on the car, so yeah, having mates that own body shops, I was a mechanical engineer to trade, and I did my time as an apprentice mechanic many moons ago, so and fully qualified all the way up to Master Tech on the GTR program with Nissan. So yeah, I know my way about cars anyway, that's for sure. So I will get this all sorted, get it all cleaned up, and hopefully be using this in the summer. If it doesn't make it this summer, it certainly will next year. But yeah, so we'll just plod away. Looks like another, that one's been replaced. The other side's falling a bit, so it's just one on the other side I need to replace. It's odd though, because the shocker looks like it's been replaced on the other side, but I'm not sure if this one has. Yeah, I don't know, this one's needing cleaned up, rust removed anyway, but that's what I'm here to do. Yeah, okay, so I was just going to crack on with this. You'll see it disassembled. It's fairly easy. There's a mixture on mine of T30s under here. I think there's 4 T30s under here. As you can see, there's loads of videos of taking these off. There's a couple there, one over there. And then you've got, I think these are T25s, T25, 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 T25. Got a clip just to pop out, pop the back out, pull the body of it out. There's 10mm plastic nut, similar to these ones here, in this hole. And then a couple there. Another one there, and then I believe there is another, yeah, another T30 or T25 under there, and then I'll just pop that, trims off, another one there, look, I'll just pop that off and I'll pull these out and you'll see. But yeah, I want to get this all cleaned up because it's starting to look really scruffy, so I'll give it a good clean up, probably give it a paint a silver hammerite or something like that as well, just to freshen up the inside, because there is rusty patches on it, a needle gun and wire wheel. Maybe rust treat. Okay, cool. Enjoy. Here I basically stripped all the trims off, cleaned everything up with the degreaser, and then needle gunned and rubbed down all the rusty areas. It was all just surface rust pretty much. I then treated it with some rust treatment stuff from Built Hammer. And then obviously painted it with primer and silver hammerite to just give it a bit of a tidy up. Came out really well, basically. Also painted the bells of the discs, give them a nice freshen up as well. And here's just some of the parts that I'd ordered. Yeah, I'll tot everything up at the end of it, but it came out really well in the end. The new shocker boots and bump stop covers, new top mounts on there as well, as you can see. Really did make a big difference to the appearance of the car from underneath. You can see the state of the old ones in this next image. They were completely knackered. I don't know how they were still steering the car, basically, not seizing up. The bearings and everything were just completely degraded, but I mean, it's an old car, so it's all feeling fresh and new now. Obviously all the work's done. Yeah, you can see the condition of these bearings, absolutely atrocious. Top mounts starting to perish, the rubber's coming away from the aluminium, and just the sheer amount of rust that was on the car. So next thing I ordered was exhaust manifolds as well. Fairly expensive things, really nicely put together, nice welds. I ordered the ones, Design Tech ones from Design 911, while the car was at the body shop getting the rust done. So this was the before pictures of the rust. You can see the bubbles appearing on the arches. Yeah, the car was really looking rough. There was a bit of curb damage. This was on it when I got it as well, so I didn't know what I was getting into with the state of this car. Anywhere where there was stones hitting, it was basically rough, and this is the prep work, obviously rubbing it down, and then you'll see all the finished product. Yeah, it came out really, really well. Of course, it's wet when I'm taking these photos, but yeah, there's basically not a mark on the car now. It looks really, really good. My mate actually owns a body shop, so he did a lot of the work for me. Yeah, as a kind of a mate's rates sort of deal. So very, very happy with the repairs to the car. Yeah, and obviously when you were doing the exhaust manifolds, of course, you have to take the old ones off, leaving a bit of a mess. And fortunately, I only snapped one stud in it, so I was quite chuffed that it was only one stud, and I managed to drill out the old one. The exhaust was blowing in between the branches of the manifold, so it was a bit of a mess. I didn't hold back with even the fasteners on the exhaust. I replaced them all for titanium. So I put titanium studs in where the old standard Porsche ones were for the manifold to head connections, and also for the sort of triangular tailpipe connections as well. I replaced them all with titanium, as you can see from these photos. Yeah, probably not the cheapest bolts in the world, but I thought if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it properly. I replaced all the lambda sensors as well with new ones, and got new gaskets from Porsche. And then you can see here, this is them sort of fitted up and into position now. It looks really, really good. You know, it's almost too good to be underneath a car, but yeah, really did make a big difference. I'm not giving you a sound clip in this video, but stand by for the next one where I do a driving video with the car and you can hear the exhaust on the road rather than just revving it in a shed, which I don't think gives a true representation of anything anyway. You can see here the exhaust manifolds and cats are fitted. Next thing I jumped on, it was refitting all the brake discs that I'd painted the hubs on and start to replace all the flexi hoses in the brake pipes. Big job. Replaced the brake lines for Goodrich hoses all the way around, braided hoses, as you can see from these images. And then I jumped onto the actual master cylinder. Today we will be fitting a new brake master cylinder. The brakes on the 987s are notoriously just crap anyway. The pedal feel and travel is appalling. So we're going to be upgrading it to a Porsche 997 GT3 brake master cylinder from Design 911 in this baggie here. Basically, there's the part number for anybody that's interested from Design 911. It can be found other places, and you can also just buy a genuine one from Porsche if you want. But I went for the TRW stuff. TRW stuff's fine, it's good quality, there's no question about it. It does the trick, and it should really massively improve the brake feel in this car. I have actually, funnily enough, I've been replacing every single brake pipe on this car. Pretty much had them all redone as part of my refurb process. You can see all the new ones in there running at the back. I need to tidy them up for straightness and things, but yeah, full crossover brake pipes for front left, front right, full front to rears. I'm doing the backs at the moment, but I've actually run out of brake pipe and end fittings, so I've ordered some more. So I just thought today I'll do I'll actually do the master cylinder upgrade because it's fairly straightforward to do. So basically you've got A couple of bolts to undo underneath there, and the brake pipes, reservoir off, switch unplug. Fairly straightforward. You can actually see it's had a TRW booster on it already. That's interesting. I wonder if that's been replaced for some reason then. That should be a genuine Porsche item. It's a Lucas cylinder that's on it. Yeah, interesting. I'll need to measure it when it comes out, see what the piston bore size is. See if that is already an upgraded one, but the brakes are terrible, so I'm assuming it's not. I'm assuming they've put standard 987 stuff back in. But yeah, so I'll start disconnecting the brake pipes, and then we'll start to remove the cylinder. Okay, so to get the clip off, fairly self-explanatory. To press the two springs either side, it releases the clip, and you just basically pull down. This I had already pre-drained, but you can use a syringe to drain it, but because I've been doing the brake pipes, I just cracked them off down at the distribution block on the outside and the inner wheel arch, and allowed them to drain while I was doing the brake pipes. So this was already emptied, because otherwise you will make a huge mess. As you can see, I've actually disconnected this. To get this off, you kind of have to pull up from behind, pop off one side, and then continue pulling, giving it a wiggle to pop this side off as well. And you can see here it's come off fine. I'm not going to disconnect it any further than that. I don't need to. I can just hold it back. Now it's out of the way. And then you need to take off the two brake pipes. They're quite large, I don't know, maybe 14 mil or something like that. 13-14 millimeter spanner to undo them. And then it's these big nuts, not the actual Torxes, but the outer nuts. The nuts are like a collar. You remove the actual nuts, not the actual insert Torx heads there, because the insert Torx heads are holding on the actual brake booster. So I'll do that now. I think they look like a 21 mil or a 22 mil socket and a pry bar on them. Socket and a bar on them, sorry, but I'll undo them and see how we're getting on in a minute. Yeah, okay, so I'm back. Yeah, these are a 13 millimeter spanner. To get them, both of them cracked off, fairly straightforward. And then just crack them both off, and then run them out by your fingers until they're all the way free of the cylinder. There we go. So they're quite solid on there because it's clipped in. There's not actually a good way to do this. I might actually have to break them off down there to get them right the way out as well, which isn't a problem because the lines are all empty anyway. Yeah, okay, so to get them fully free, I'm probably going to have to take them off at that end as well. Just if you are taking them fully off, just make sure you know what fitting they come off of. It looks like this back one or front one, whatever way you want to look at it, is the top pipe, and that goes to the front one on here, which says is it HZ? Yeah, so HZ2, and then the other one is HZ1. So I'll just take them off, probably crack them off from that end as well. Okay, let's get this off. I've already cracked them off, but I'll just undo them now fully. Like they're on with blue Loctite, so make sure you apply blue Loctite when you're putting them back in as well. vacuum. And that is it off. Fairly straightforward. Yeah. I'll need to get a good look at it, measure the piston, check the part number on it if there is one, and cross-reference it against my new one. But yeah, this should be a good upgrade. I mean, in the scheme of things, there's actually no visible difference to these. They look identical to each other, pretty much. One thing that is noticeable difference is this is lighter. It feels lighter compared to this one. This one's actually quite heavy in comparison, but yeah, the ends look the same. I suppose the internal piston diameter might be different, or the stroke might be slightly different in them, but I'm not going to take them apart to check them. This one's a Lucas unit for some reason. Whether that's genuine or not, I don't know. It does look like it's had a genuine barcode on there at one point. It's kind of rubbed away. Yeah, not too sure if that's a genuine one or not. It's on it already, but let's say this is a GT3 one, so let's put it in and see how it gets on. You need to make sure the centre is lined up with the rod in the inside there. So just be cautious when you're putting it in that you are guiding onto the rod first. These I've put blue Loctite in these now, so hopefully it takes it tight. I always try and tighten things like this up evenly, so not tighten it all up on one side in one go. Just watch it going in, and just make sure you're doing it up evenly once it starts to bite. It's just because it's got a lot of loading on the inside of it, so it's just to make sure that the oil seats evenly. There we go. That's on. I'll just go and look up the torque for this now, and then we'll get them torqued. Yeah, so just do everything in reverse now. I undone these in here just to back them out enough to get them off at that end. So I need to nip these back up and just put a little bit of rag tucked underneath just in case there was anything stuck in the pipe, and there was a little bit that came out even though I drained the lines. And then we'll go back over and do up the bit of pipes and do the final torque on the nuts. The torque for the nuts is 10 Newton meters. So that's 10 Newton meters for anyone that's want. Oh, and also you have to apply Loctite to them as well. Not Loctite on these, but Loctite on them nuts there. Okay. a little bit of brake fluid. I use DOT 5.1 in my Porsche, so a little bit of brake fluid in the rubber seals before popping this back on, and just make sure this is clean as well prior to pushing it in. There we go. And it should just push down. That's it. Yep, that's it seated. And then last but not least, check you never got any brake fluid in there. Just give that a quick scoosh out with brake cleaner just in case. Let that dry for a second. Blow. Let it dry for a second, then I'll plug it back in, and then that'll be me done. Clean up. I've got the two back, very back brake pipes to do, so I'll not fill this just now. I'll fill it later in the video once we've done a bit more to the car and we're ready to bleed the brakes, so it'll remain empty for the time being anyway. But there, yeah, and that should be us. There we go, clip together, so that's it back together. Very straightforward job. I didn't show removing this trim that goes over here. It's literally just pull the rubber seal leather strip. Yeah, pull the leather strip off to expose the screws. There's a screw down here, screw on the other side, and then 3 or 4 screws across the top. Very straightforward. Yeah, so that's it. So that's installing a new brake master cylinder. Obviously you then have to follow the bleeding process and also tidy up. Thanks for watching this part of the video. Bye. So this is the end of the episode, and I just want to close out the last few videos of the metal brake pipes that are replaced throughout the whole car. You can see the front to rears here. I did straighten them up a wee bit after this, obviously. You know, I just wanted to show the extent and the amount of brake pipes that I actually fitted to the car. So look out for the next episode, which should be in about a week's time, where I start doing the dreaded crossover coolant pipes at the front. So enjoy. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks again for watching, and take care. Oh,